on YouTube, he writes down the title of his video for YouTube for going live the night before. And so I did that again to help sleep on it and subconsciously sort of marinate in the title of Notice Your Energetic State. I wrote it down in my journal. So that's going to be the topic for this morning. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Talking about how the times right now, a lot of people are being forced to slow down. Their normal routines are being completely rearranged, somewhat by force, because a lot of us may be required to stay home with the corona and everything that's going on. So, with that, everyone's habits are being flung around in loop de loops like a that 9 to 5 matrix, get up, get to work. This time, set the alarm, work, 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 work. The world's moving. I have to keep up. I have to keep up. And all of a sudden, it's like, stop. You have to stop. Even the government saying, yo, you have to stop. And that's quite the rare feeling for people. For me, particularly, I've never felt a feeling like this where it feels like the world, humans, and their normal repetition way of life is coming to a screeching halt. And at first, I got very overwhelmed about all this. And on second thought, it's really not a bad thing. I think this is a really good thing if we can remember to notice our energetic state. Um, Over the last week or so, I've primarily been inside, and I felt this need to find a way to connect and work from home and do these more virtual talking things and experiment and find a way to add value, even though there's a lot of scarcity and fear. And people may not be spending as much money. They're trying to save it and try to hold on to it and find a way to make money quick. And I was talking to my partner, and she said, well, a lot of people are trying to work out and put their work out and find a new way to connect and go virtual and work it out. And what if this is just a sign from the universe to work in? And although there may not be income for many of us, what if we just trust that if we hunker down and find peace with where we're at right now, this is a moment to rest from one perspective. From another perspective, it could be a moment to build and plant seeds. Ironically, though, I think those two can go together. Given that everyone has come to a stop, we can plant seeds by working inwardly and doing the healing shadow work right now when the world is more or less on timeout. This is the perfect time to get timed in with how you're feeling. And I've kind of danced back and forth the last few days of working out literally and also trying to share something with the world and get it out there, and then also being reminded, you know what, it's an opportunity to dive back in and work inwardly and journal and be off my phone, because it's funny, like we're at home, right, and we're all working through our devices, through our phones to connect with the world and see how it's going and how it's playing out. When what if we just spent 12 hours not on your phone? Like, you're just going to be at home. You're not going to miss that much, especially right now. And that 12 hours might feel like an eternity to be away from your phone, but it's something to think about for sure. Like, what if this is an opportunity to really get in touch with your energetic state and know what you're feeling, since you can't go to the gym, since you can't go to the store, since you can't go to work? What do you do when you get bored? It can inspire a lot of creativity. And I know a lot of people are taking advantage of that, which is beautiful. One of my favorite books is Hour of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I was having another conversation about labels. And as we progress forward, the evolution of humanity, language obviously gets more and more intricate, and we like to define things more and more. It's not just a tree, it's a tree with bark. And it's not just a tree with bark. Now it's a tree with sap and maple rich summer. We could define and define. And then within this bark, there is 1,486,000 different terms for each of the different segments, all that reside within this 1 inch. You see where I'm going with this? That we could forever continue labeling and separating and giving our brain concepts of, this is a puzzle piece that goes here, this is a puzzle piece that goes here, this is a puzzle piece that goes here. We could spend forever doing that. Or another perspective or an angle could be to just observe it and take it all in as one moving art piece, aka the universe, that's always in motion and flowing. And it's not actually a puzzle piece where you can take a puzzle piece out of the universe. It's not possible. Like, nothing can be created or destroyed. So it's not like I could take this pen and go poof, it's gone. Like, I can't smush it so small. It all goes somewhere. It's all here. It's all part of this puzzle. You can't take something out of the puzzle. The puzzle perfectly fits together. So the catch, I think, is that there is no puzzle, that you can't separate things. Things are all connected. Is that a visual that sort of lands? So, given that, our brains and our egos absolutely love to label things. And with our language, which has been so vital to our evolution as humans to progress from just hitting rocks and stones to having intricate language and ways of communication, like through the internet and all the different languages and dialects and words and mediums of art form. We have so many ways to communicate, and our brain really loves that. It's there's I think there's a yin and a yang to how healthy that is. It's helpful. An example of helpful labeling in a helpful way. Here's an example: would be if you go to the doctors and say, "Hey, I'm sick. I have a broken leg. It is my in the front of my leg, my right leg, right here." So that dialogue, that those words, that those labels I used were helpful because that let the doctor know that I wasn't saying it's in my shoulder, on the back. Like, we have these labels for words are helpful. They're pointers, but these pointers are not the whole essence of what we see. It's not with words that we can describe a tree. We can try to describe a tree with words, but we almost have to have this knowing of, we can talk about the tree, but the words we're using to talk about the tree are not the tree, that the thing that you are observing, the small fraction of the universe that you are zeroing in on. That small fraction is really just part of this bigger thing, and you're choosing to label a small little snippet of it that's temporarily going to be there, like a sandcastle on the beach. It gets eroded back to nothing. So, what does this have to do with noticing your energetic state? That's a great question. I don't know. Um, it kind of reminds me of awareness as a whole. Being aware of how your inner being relates to the external world. A big takeaway that seems to be important for this particular message is the working out versus working in. Right now, I have felt the urge to work out. Even though the world is stopping and things are canceling and closing down, I'm still trying to produce content in a slightly forced way. I'm working on original songs and original content that doesn't pay me. That doesn't feel like it's being forced. That's just creative and fun and exciting to me and peaceful, even. It's healing. Doesn't pay me, but there's this other part of me, and maybe a lot of you may be experiencing this. It's like, well, I lost my job. I have to make money. And for whatever reason, I'm really trusting right now to choose a peaceful energy state. So if I really want to work on my original music right now while the world shuts down and technically I lost my job and I'm not making money in the way I was a week ago, I am trusting the universe to work on what creative things I want to work on. Because clearly, we're not in control to some extent. um, Mother Nature has guided humans to make the decision to come to a stop and say, hey, everyone stay home. Um, so the question is, what will you do with that time? Will you be working inwardly and healing and reflecting and have your energetic state be one of peace and focus on that, place your attention there? Or will you be working out? There is no right or wrong. You could work in or work out. Right now, I know I have to listen to my gut and my feelings of working inwardly right now, more so. There's a balance. Most importantly, you have to find your balance of working in or working out right now, given that the time is whatever it is. You could watch this video in a year and the trends will be completely different. There'll be different things going on inside me and what is right for me. All right, I'm going to leave this video here. That's about all I feel like is necessary for this message. But I hope you're doing well. This is another check-in live update. And during this time with the corona, I hope you are well and you are safe. I'm sending you lots of tips to start off your day wherever you are. And yeah, close your eyes, tune in with yourself before you go racing and go off and sprint forward from home. Take this opportunity to rest if it feels right. And you know, if you really get quiet enough, you know what's right for you. You know if you need to push more and take this time to make a lot of phone calls, to make a lot of content and really go on all cylinders because it's that time for you. And it might be a time for somebody else to not focus on output, but focus on input. All right. Peace.